Hello, my name is Regina Schenk, and my husband and I are directors of Feeding Incorporated, and it's a charitable nonprofit organization that's devoted to feeding the hungry of our area, changing lives to impact our community. Perhaps you don't know that 17.7% of people in Jasper County don't know where their next meal is coming from, which is called food insecurity. Feeding Incorporated serves approximately 400 families a month by appointment, which includes older adults on limited income and families with children. During their appointment, they can shop for a grocery cart full of food, including commodities, diapers if needed, feminine products, and sometimes products for the home. At the end of their shopping trip, if they like prayer, they can have the opportunity to get individual prayer for their needs. Every Wednesday, we serve a hot meal and give out a food box to 80 to 100 clients. While they're enjoying a hot meal, volunteers get the opportunity to speak hope, build a trust relationship with them, and give potential counsel for change in their lives. During the school year, we distribute food backpacks to schools on Fridays to hand out to the children. Our purpose is to feed, equip, empower, and restore hope to those who are living in poverty and others who are temporarily in need. We are not here to enable them, but to empower them with resources, encouragement, and practical help through the provision of food, diapers, teaching, and training. Change lives, change communities, and Feeding Incorporated is meeting a need in this region. Perhaps you might be interested in sowing into transforming a region with Feeding Incorporated. You can contact us, and we'll have some contact information at the end of this video. Prior to starting the food pantry, I was a very uninformed bystander. When it came to those in need in our community, I assumed that their needs were being taken care of and thought no more about it. In fact, I was a bit judgmental toward those who had those kind of needs. I would think to myself, why don't they just go out and get a job? As my husband and I stepped into what we feel is the Lord's leading to start Feeding Incorporated, you might know us as River Street Food Pantry, we began to see the needy of the surrounding area from a different perspective. We began to know their names, their problems, their hopes, their dreams, and the many reasons that they needed our assistance. Some were single mothers with small children. Some were in between jobs and felt guilty when they asked for help. Some were elderly on a fixed income. Some were very sick and were under a doctor's care or just recovered from surgery. We began to meet the homeless, the alcoholics, the addicted, the abused. We found out that some could not read. Some had not finished high school. Some had no electricity or running water. Some were living in their car or in a tent by the river. The answer to why people are in these situations is varied and complex. We've had many in tears telling us their story of an alcoholic father who spent all the grocery money on his addiction while his children were left hungry. We, of course, helped his wife and children. Why? Because it's not their fault that the breadwinner was not willing to fulfill his role. We had one family who lost everything in a fire. Another family had spent so much money on medical bills that there was no money left for food. Others were desperately trying to find work, but transportation was a problem and childcare was expensive. The list of reasons was long, and most of them had validity. My heart began to change.
Hi, my name is Misty Norris, and I'm a volunteer at Feeding Incorporated. I wanted to share with you about my life before Feeding Incorporated. I used to be a meth addict and live in all kinds of abuse and poverty and be hungry a lot because, you know, when you're a meth addict, you don't have time to work. You only have time to get high. And so I began coming to Feeding Incorporated to get food to be able to eat. And instead of just being fed, I found something else here too. I found life. I saw a love and a light in the people here, that they really cared about us, not like other ministries that I have been to where it was just to get me fed. Was more, it was about more than that. It was about feeding me spirit, soul, and body. And I began watching the people that ministered to us here, and I became hungry. I wanted some of what they had. I wanted some of that light and some of that life that I saw in them. And I decided that I was going to volunteer here, and I began to try and break away. And I could see finally that this was not the life that I wanted to live. And through Feeding Incorporated, they helped me get settled in a church and began to minister life to me and speak words of wisdom to me, and fed me and kept me from being hungry and helped me in so many ways that I can't even name them all. Through this ministry, I began going to church. They found me a church home, and I volunteered down here on a regular basis. I finally got baptized on August 4th of 2013, and I've been clean from methamphetamine since October of 2013. And through my work at Feeding Incorporated, I went from volunteer and now I'm staff, and my life is really different. You're the light of God to the world in darkness, and a city set on a hill cannot be hidden. As you begin to help support this ministry, you're shining your light in a way that it pierces through the darkness and brings forth transformation to a region. So thank you for your donation.
And to love the needy of our area. Some have felt that food pantries only enable people to stay in their situation, dependent on welfare and handouts. But our heart is not to enable, once again, but to empower them to rise up out of their present situation, giving them hope for jobs, better education, basic common sense skills, and more. As we hear of jobs, we make that information available to them. We've compiled a list of resources that we give to them that points the way to training and other helps. Prior to getting involved in meeting the needs of these beautiful people, I sat in my very nice home, comfortably judging them, naively believing all was right with my world. The problem was that my world was small and my perspective limited. Whether you know it or not, Carthage and the surrounding area is teeming with the broken, the addicted, the hungry, the desperate, and the diseased. What can you do about it? First of all, be aware that there is a world of hurting people that you probably walk by every day. You can help by volunteering, doing a food drive, donating monthly to this ministry, praying for the needs of others. Call us and we can point you in the right direction if you want to know more. We are a relational ministry. People are not just numbers to us. They are real, live families who need stable people in their lives. Get involved. Your life will change as you reach out to others.